Righty-ho then, a quick recap. Too much in a way here. I've just done the central square. So we made 4 of these all the same, yeah? And you already saw me measure these. I haven't measured these. I will, because I want to know the whole thing's going to fit in the end. So they should be 4.5. Yep, that one is. And we've tried hard. I showed you how not to lose your point. Yeah, we've tried hard on that bit. Yep, that's alright. Nothing glaring. Yep, that's alright. 4.5. Not brilliant, but it's too small, not too big. Then the centre one that I've just made should be the same. Yeah. Now there is a glaring difference on this one. There is. Okay. I mean, no matter how much I try and sew it straight and everything else, I don't know whether you can see on camera here, it's not straight. So before I compound that, I cut it off. Right? Can you see? Boom. Was not straight. I'll just turn it around and do that again in case I've missed something. Yeah, that's fine. Right, so that is why I double checked, because if I'd have left this bit attached to wherever it was, that's over 1/8, and that would have put my stitching line out. So I want to know it's right. Okay, so now we're in a position to make up our square. I don't know how much of this I can cover on the camera, but I'm hoping I can get a fair bit, right? So it's that. Let's do the top line. It's that, then that, then another one of these facing the other way, yeah? So that is our top line, isn't it? Yeah? Never mind about the rest of it. We can fill, well, I put a few in, but I mean, at the end of the day, we're looking like this. This is what we're looking like, yeah? I don't know how much of that you can see. But don't worry about all of that at the moment. Now we're down to, we literally got a 9 patch. We're down to a 9 patch now. Easy peasy. So we've done 4 of those. That was 4 patches. Easy peasy. Now we've got a 9 patch to put together. And obviously if we've used a scant quarter and we've cut as efficiently as we can all the shapes so that they're the same size, shouldn't now really be a problem. So as usual, over and over we go. What have we got to match up? Looking at them, this centre seam. There's a centre seam to match up here. That's all. So as per usual, it's only right on the edge, but it's enough to make a difference. So where's my, keep losing all my pins. I have to do it at the machine. But there is a centre seam to match up there, yeah? But at the same time, obviously, we want to try and keep our blocks as square as we can with one another, yeah? And match up that central seam. And then obviously when we've done that, we bring it back and then add, again, we've got a central seam here. So we will try and match that block up and keep that central seam, which will have done our top row. Alright, so I've sewn my top line, I've sewn my bottom line, and the only thing you have to match are these central points on both, yeah? So the next thing, we need to match the middle line. Now, with the middle line, again, this square is on point, like a diamond, and we need to match it so that our diamonds match. Now, remember me saying to you before, this is one of the hardest parts, because not only, if I peel it back, you need this point to match that point and these lines to match this line, so you are looking, feeling that they are together and continually shifting and moving until that you're happy in your mind that they match up, and then you get your friction pen and draw your line across the top for your sewing. And it's exactly the same with the other line, so that you don't lose your points. Alright, so these triangles have to match, and it does take a bit of fiddling with before you sew. Alright, okay, so top done, bottom done, middle done, yeah? So now, usual thing, as you know, we're treating this as a 9 block now, so top down, yeah? But we've got a few things to take into consideration here, and I got no idea what I've done with my wristband, what I've done with my other, I don't know what I've done with my pins, so I'm bringing this one over now. We've got several things. The first, well, see, I'd like to say first thing you do, as usual, is your centre lines. Of course they're important, but also in this block, just to make it that much more difficult, we've got a V on V to work out as well, right? So we feel it with our hands, our fingers, we double check it, when we're happy that is alright, we put a pin in. However, once I've done this one, I will stop and recheck that under the machine that I'm still happy with it as we go further. Alright, so the next thing that we need to figure out are these nice seams down here. Of course, this is something that Margaret designed. I've just noticed something else now. Right, so yeah, and I need to give that a bit of a tug because I need that seam. It doesn't want to. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to just put it across the top and pin it. Right, so got that seam figured out. Still wondering about that, okay? But also, guys and gals, there is a seam here. So actually, so that it all looks good. Oh, my light's not very good in this room. There is a seam there that I want to stop and check as I go along. And if there's a seam there, there's going to be a seam this end, isn't there? So again, I'm going to pin that so it doesn't move. And stop and check before I sew it. So literally everywhere I put a pin, yeah, I will start at this end, making sure those two ends match up as nicely as I can. Before I get to that seam, I will stop under the needle, well, you know, about ½ inch from the needle, and double check that line up of that seam, so that, and stop, and double check the line up of that seam, so that, and stop, and double check this V, which I can see right now is not right. I might have to tug it, I might have to, you know, move the one underneath, but I double check that. Having sewn across there without going underneath my V cross, I'll stop here, I'll lift this, I will still check that that seam is alright, I'll sew across that, and I will stop back here, and I will double check that this seam is alright, and then continue and make sure that these two ends form a decent edge here, yeah? So on this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places. Well, I'm going to stop and check. So this is not something you can do like all in one go. Oh no, no. There's 5 places you need to stop and check your work half an inch before you get to it. Okay. So that was 5 places, wasn't it? Alright, well, it's not catastrophe yet. It's all fitting in. But, I mean, this is a good exercise for you. And obviously, basically now, we can turn this up the other way because it's exactly the same thing. And I prefer to work with it at the top. So we bring it down, yeah? Again, my first priority is that centre cross. So I'm sticking a pin in it. And I always tend to work outwards. So the next thing is this seam, stick a pin in it. And then the other seam here, watch it, watch it, watch it, watch it, yeah. Stick a pin in it. And then obviously your outside seams again, yeah. Looking at it, stick a pin in it, yeah. And the same with this outside seam. Watch it, watch it, watch it, lie all the way up you want it to go, yeah. Stick a pin in it. Right, so then, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places. You need to stop at least half an inch before you work, double check it. You might have to pull this way a bit, or push that, pull that way a bit. Just double check your work before it actually gets sewn. And you know, you try and start off with them together at this end, and you try after everything is sewn to bring it together this end after this is sewn, so you know that your cross is right. Then you bring together this end, so you've still got a good line on this end as well. So now I've got to sew the same thing all over again. Okay, so that's my Lillie star done, but I need to measure it. Because obviously, as I was, you know, we've had this huge conversation about so many seams, so many places to lose something. So I'm just going to measure it across the middle. Can you see this on camera? Can you see my finger? Maybe not. Let me just move the camera, tilt the camera a bit, right? So from that edge across my middle, can you... God, I love my life. Right, I just want to make sure you can actually see this. Because I've not done this before. That is, whoops, that's straight, isn't it? Right, straight, yeah? That's 12.5. That's what I want it to be. Now, while I'm all like, yee about that, let's turn it round. Is it 12.5? The other way? No, it's not. Oh, what can we do? Oh, no. Well, maybe it's the way I pressed it. I don't know. But it's 12 and... that's 12.5. It's an eighth under 12.5 that way. Right, let me just double check that. So from one side to another side is spot on 12.5. From that side to that side, it's an eighth under 12.5. Doesn't matter. Does it matter? Not to me. Not really. And I'll show you why not. Of course, we can go across other seams. That looks a bit shorter. Yep, that's not 12.5. Yeah, that is 12.5. Yeah, that is 12.5. What about this one then? No, that's not 12.5, that's 12.25. So it's not entirely square and it's not entirely as I would like it. But that's good in one respect, because as we now, I've finished. Have I finished? No, I've got to do the friendship block one more time. I've done the other ones twice. I've got to do the friendship block one more time. This is my central panel. So we're getting towards the point where I'm going to show you that this we can make to everything will fit. Trust me when I show you how in perhaps the next video. Yeah, if I can get my other one done in the next video, we'll start to line them up and sew them together and not worry about these slight imperfections. But I've got to say, I am very impressed with that. I think that's a beautiful block, beautiful block. Of course, it's a lot more intricate than the friendship block we did yesterday, or the day before, and then the modern block that I haven't given it a name, but the one I made, that wasn't too bad. It had a few flying geese in it like this, but it wasn't too bad. And then obviously with the first block we did, the disappearing line patch, well, that was dead easy, wasn't it? Anyway, we're learning as we go, aren't we? Okay,